My mother had a way of making compliments sound like warnings. At my engagement party, she kept adjusting things that didn't need adjusting. The flowers, the place cards, even the way my fiancé and I stood for photographs. "You've always needed someone to keep you on track," she told me with a smile. I laughed because everyone else did. I had spent years learning to laugh at things that hurt. Then, after dinner, my mother took the microphone. No one had given it to her. She simply reached across the table, picked it up, and tapped it twice. "I just want to say something about my daughter," she began. My stomach tightened. She looked around the room, smiling warmly. She wasn't always this settled. She actually dropped out of medical school. A few people shifted in their chairs, and unfortunately, she couldn't keep her first marriage either. Someone gave an uncomfortable little laugh. My mother continued. "But we're very proud of her for finally finding someone willing to give her another chance." I stared at the floor. There it was. The old version of me. The irresponsible daughter. The woman who couldn't finish anything. The wife who couldn't make a marriage work. My mother had been telling that story for years. I had corrected it privately so many times that I no longer knew how to correct it publicly. I looked at my father. He had gone pale. He stood halfway from his chair. "That's not." My fiancé rose before he could finish. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't look angry. He simply took the microphone from my mother. "Should I tell them why you really pulled her out?" The room went completely silent. My mother's fingers loosened around her glass. It slipped. It struck the floor and shattered. Nobody moved. My fiancé looked at me first. That was what mattered. He wasn't asking permission to expose me. He was asking whether I wanted him to expose them. I nodded once. My mother sat down. I took a breath. "I did leave medical school," I said. "That's true." My voice sounded strange to me. After Dad became seriously ill, Mom told me I was the only one who could stay home and help. She said it would only be temporary. My father closed his eyes. "It wasn't temporary." I looked at my mother. "I missed one semester, then another. Eventually, going back became impossible." My mother whispered, "You chose that." "I did," I said. "But I didn't choose the story you told everyone afterward." Nobody interrupted. "My first marriage ended too, and I made mistakes in that marriage. I'm not going to pretend I didn't." I paused. "But my family repeatedly involved themselves in it until there was barely a marriage left to save." My mother stared at me. For years, I had imagined this moment as a confrontation. I thought I would finally scream. Instead, I felt tired. Not weak, just tired. My fiancé put the microphone down. The venue coordinator quietly approached my mother and asked her to leave the microphone alone for the remainder of the evening. It was such a small thing, but somehow it changed everything. My mother no longer controlled the room. Neither did I. There was no dramatic apology. No sudden reconciliation. Some relatives came to me afterward and said they hadn't known. One aunt cried. Another avoided my eyes. My father found me near the hallway. "I should have told the truth years ago," he said. I believed him. That didn't mean I forgave him immediately. My mother left before the party ended. I watched her go through the glass doors. Part of me wanted to follow. Another part finally understood that I didn't have to. When I returned to the room, my fiancé was waiting beside our table. "Are you okay?" he asked. I thought about the question. "Not really." He nodded. "That's fair." And somehow that was enough. The party continued. The music came back on. People started talking again. Nothing had been fixed. But something had changed. For the first time, my family no longer had the final word about who I was. Neither did my past. I had made mistakes. I had lost things. I had taken roads I never expected to take. But those choices belonged to me now. And strangely, that felt more like freedom than forgiveness ever could.